Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the planet Earth. My name's Jade. This is How to App on iOS. Today we are going to go forth and multiply. I've always wanted to say that on a stream. So welcome. We are going to do some drawing today, man. Yeah. I got my chat working again. Not how I used to like it working. Thanks, Streamlabs, for your hokey plugin, which is not working for some reason. And over here, what have we got? We've got coffee. Yeah, baby. So welcome to the show, folks. Hello to everybody in the chat. Langston Reese, Scott, Tom Rochelle, Stu Cash. Congratulations, Stu. Glad you got your Aurea Pro stuff sorted yesterday. That was nice and quick. So happy times ahead for you. Man, it's not my birthday for like, what are we? I don't know, two weeks, 2.5 weeks or so. But I bought a coffee machine for my early birthday, and I'll tell you what, it's the best thing I've done. Because, damn, I love a good coffee in the morning. Yeah. So what are we doing today? Let's get into this shit. Let's have a look over here at price drops and apps. Now, 4 Pockets, Harmonic Exciter, Vocal Soloist, and De-esser, they're all on sale. Now, I can't guarantee this is a fact because you can actually buy all 3 of these apps in a package, which is what I did. And I think when I got it in the package, it was about $19 Australian, so roughly $10 US, something like that. Probably a bit more. So I'm not sure if the package is on sale, but all 3 of those apps work together really well. So that's pretty much all there is for price drops and such today. What are we looking at today? We are looking at Procreate. This is a drawing app, or this is more than a drawing app. This is an incredibly powerful app that is incredibly mild-mannered. But under the hood, there is some really powerful shit going on here. This cost $10 US, $9.99. No in-app purchases once you buy. The other thing it does come with is a companion app, which I don't have. And I'll tell you why I don't have it. So you can get Procreate Pocket, which is for your iPhone. And the reason I don't have it is I can't use my Apple Pencil with my iPhone. So that really defeats the purpose for me, because once you've started using things with your Apple Pencil, it's really hard to go back to using your finger. Even though, as you will see, I still need to use my fingers, not finger, for Procreate for all of the gestures, which are super, super handy. So this is $7.99. I think it works out to be around $4.99 for US for the Pocket version. But a good way to get started. If you only have an iPhone, it's possible to do it on an iPhone as well. So let's jump in and have a look at this thing, shall we? Because, as I said, it's much more than a drawing app. You can manipulate photos, you can animate things, and it's what I've been using a lot too, in combination with a lot of the apps I've already shown you in the past to make my movie. So I'm going to open up this app. First, we want to get this double screen happening here so you can see what I am doing today. Clear some of the rubbish off my desk. Okay, so it's down here. I'm going to click on this and get this sucker open. Now, I actually don't have all of my usual things imported as yet, because I actually moved them across to another folder, just because there's some stuff in there that I don't want people to see from my movie and stuff. But I've just left some sketches and stuff in here to play with today. As you can see, just off the bat, I actually have, and let's just look at this screen to start with. So this is your I guess your file system. Let's start at saying that. Now, at any time, you can just pinch stretch on any of these, to get a preview of them. And then you can flick through them at any time without actually opening up any of these. And to get back to your screen, you can just pinch to get back there. So really cool. And as you can see with this particular one, this is the original drawing I did for my vocal booth that I built myself. So this is all the PVC piping that I needed and the T connectors and such. As you can see in here, I've got one of my album covers for my band Utensils. So what else can you do with this section here? If I wanted to, you can create folders within this as well. And it's all very intuitive with dragging and dropping. So if I wanted to take these two photos here and put them in their own folder, you just grab on it so you can move it around, and then you drop it on top of the other one. So you see it changes color there, and then you let go and it becomes a stack. So then when I click on that stack, there are the photos in a stack. So everything's really intuitive for dragging and dropping. And just to show you really how cool this is, what I'm going to do, you can do this with one hand. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. I normally do it with two. In fact, can I do it with my pencil? Right, so I've grabbed my pencil here. I'm dragging it down the bottom. With my finger, I'm going to flip up the tool. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Let's not do that. Hang on, we can do that. I want to see if I can get down the bottom here. No, that didn't work. Let's try this again. So we'll grab this photo here. I want to flick up my toolbar. Now see, I've still got the photo off of Procreate. I'm hovering around my screen. So if I now click on my Files app, I can now say go to my Seagate hard drive. Hopefully it's going to load up. Yep, so this is my 2 terabyte hard drive, and I can just drop this in there. Look at that. There it is. Pretty damn neat, huh? And then I just want to get back to Procreate. Still a copy there, and I can open that up from within Procreate. I can drop stacks in there, so I can take a stack, drag this down to the bottom, bring up my toolbar. Oops, I didn't want to go to Facebook. Bring up my toolbar, over into here, and drop my stack into there. Did the stack work? There we go. So it's importing both photos at once. I don't know where it put them. That was interesting, but you get what I'm saying. I've never tried dragging a stack in there before, so that was an interesting experience. So you've got stacks. At any time you want to delete a photo or copy or duplicate, you can just swipe to the left on anything. You get this little menu that pops up. So share, duplicate. So I can hit share and then choose a photo type. So PSD, if you're going to move this into something like Photoshop on your computer, PDF, JPEG, PNG, TIFF, animated GIFs, so animated MP4s, a huge selection of things there to do. You can also duplicate it. Makes a nice duplicate, and then I can swipe right again and delete it, as simple as that. So a lot of really cool swipe gestures that are built into this app, and we're just on this opening screen here. So like anything else, you can import your Files app, so that's really cool. You've got photos, you can import. If you click on there, it takes you to your latest photos. That's really cool as well. Plus, if you hit your plus button, what this does is it brings up a selection of different blank canvases you can add in there. So as you can see, you've got a square, 4K size, A4, all these different sizes. Plus you can actually create your own canvas as you see fit and really get down into the nitty gritty of your DPI, your maximum. So remembering this, whatever size that you make. So if I say make something, as you can see here, it's automatically selected 3000 by 4000 pixels, and it tells you how many maximum layers you can create. So if I did something smaller, like 300 by 400, you can see the amount of layers has increased to 250. So the larger the canvas that you're going to create with a base, the less layers you're going to get. And it also depends on the DPI that you choose as well. So, you know, if I choose a 900 DPI, let's go back to, what do we have? 3000 by 4000. and click off there. So you can see my layers have gone back down to 40. You can change the color profile, so RGB, all that kind of stuff, to CMYK if you understand all of that stuff, which I'm not going to go into today. You've got time-lapse settings. Now what this also does is, as you are drawing and creating your masterpiece, it's actually recording the screen. So when you finish, you can actually do a save of your whole putting together of your artwork. Now, if any of you are from the GarageBand Users Guide or Create, Record, Release, and you know of Glenn, who I want to say, fuck, yeah, from New Zealand, who makes music. I'm saying the right person, yeah. I'm having a brain meltdown today. Glenn Clark. Yeah, there we go. I couldn't think of his last name. Have some more coffee. Yeah. One of Glenn Clark's video clips was basically made in Procreate, and it's all the time lapse of the drawings that he did. So really cool. We've got canvas properties, so you can select your background color. So every time you open a new project, and I'm going to do that now, you can select if you want it to be white or black. I actually prefer black. So now that that's turned on, I can now hit create. Just make sure I've got everything set here. So we've got highest quality, 1080p for time lapse, color set, everything's set here. And when I hit create, there's my new canvas. Okay. Now we'll just get out of there again, and I'm going to actually create one I prepared earlier. So this one here, so this is coming back to white, and immediately I love to change things to black because white is so bright to look at, you know, especially if you're laying in bed and drawing and such. So we're going to get into layers to show you how to do that. And here are your top toolbars. They're very basically marked out as well. So obviously these are your paint brushes, this first one. This is your smudge tool. This is your erase tool. And when you double click on these, you can use the same brush textures and such for your smudging, for your erasing, for your brushes. And then right on the end here, you've got your layers. And this is one of the most important parts of using Procreate, because you want to build up as many layers as possible, because if you're just using one layer to draw on top of everything, you're not going to be able to get infinitely and change those little things. So what I'm going to do first, you'll notice this bottom one here is the background color. I'm just going to click on that and choose black because I want a black background to get this off the ground. And there is my black background. I've got one layer, and what I'm going to do is add 4 layers just to kick off. Now within each of these layers too, you'll see here you've got a little check mark. You can actually check that, and the layer is hidden. So nice and simple. And when you click on the little N here, this gives you your opacity settings for your blending. When you want to blend a layer into the background or other layers. Plus, if you hold down, what are we doing? So if you just touch on it, you get all these selections up here that pop up to the side, and they are rename, select, copy, fill the layer, clear, whole bunch of options there that are really handy as well. And at any time, you can just hold down. Can I do it with my pencil? And you can shift the arrangement of the layers just by dragging them up and down. So let's get started and do just something basic. So we're on layer 1. We want to go to our pencil. We want something nice and bright white for this. And let's pick a brush. Now, as you can see, we'll run through some of the brushes nice and quickly here. Got a whole lot of amazing brushes. So sketching brushes, your inking, so you can see different thicknesses and such, drawing, calligraphy, and there's plenty within there. So painting, different styles of paint brushes. You've got artistic brushes as well, airbrushing, textures. Now these are really cool just for, you know, as you can see here, some of these textures, and let's start off with something like this. So I want to add this texture to my bottom layer. So I can just And before I go forward, I should explain what these two things are over here. These two little sections are the thickness of your brush that you can access anytime. Okay, nice and easy, up and down. You can see it gives you a little representation of how thick your brush is going to be. And this is your transparency of your actual brush. Nice and simple. Again, click the little plus here, and this brings up your little tool. What's it? Your eyedropper tool. This little button just in here. But as you can see with my pencil, if I double click the nib with my finger, it brings up the transparency tool as well that I can move around. Super handy for drawing. Click, 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 and it disappears. But we are going to go back to white. And what we're going to, let's actually choose, let's go over here. Oh, and I'll show you the color picker as well. So as you can see, I've gone over here to a red. So around your outside of this color picker, you've got all your main colors. So if we head over here, and this little section in the middle works on an X and Y basis. So you've got high and a low, and then you've got intense colors over here and less intense colors. So there you go. So let's go over to the strongest color here, and we're going to use, as I said, we've got this little crisscross pattern here, and we're just going to draw over this to create a background. And I have no idea what I'm going to draw here, so we can just start with that, and that's going to be our first layer background. And we're going to head over to our second layer. Let's throw in just a white. Now, as you'll also see down here, you've got a history marker down the bottom here. So whatever colors you are choosing, they go into this little history, so you can go back and remember what you are doing. Plus, along the bottom here, you have color palettes that you can actually choose. Oops, where are we? So here's, it's on the end, your color palettes. You can create your own color palettes as well and save them into here. So at the little plus section, you can add a new color palette, and whatever colors you have selected, you can go ahead and do that. So that's really handy as well. But like everything, today I'm not going to go into too much. Now we're going to select a brush. I'm just going to go to an inking brush. Pretty basic stuff here. It's already selected. Now, as I said, there's so much depth to this. If I hold down, double click, you can actually go into the finite settings of each stroke, and you can change the wet mix, the streamlining, the spacing, how the pen falls off when you let go of it. There's a lot of really incredible stuff here. You can see, you can go right through. I'm not going to change any of my brushes today because I have all my brushes kind of set to how I like them at the moment, but it's really quite deep. So let's just draw a circle, and I'll show you the undo and redo feature on here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to draw very lightly a circle just in the middle of this, and you'll notice, even though you can see this is quite thick, this brush here, you can see that on the end of it there's these thin points and thick in the middle. So that represents if you are going to draw heavy, if you press hard on the screen with your pencil, or if you draw light, you're going to get those thinner moments. So I'll just do it really lightly, and you'll notice I get a very thin circle there. Now here's what's really cool. You have to undo anything that you do, 2 fingers and just touch, and it's gone. To bring it back, 3 fingers and it's back. Very, very cool. So let's just get rid of this circle. Now I'm going to press a bit harder on the screen and watch the difference in thickness. You can already see much thicker. Now, as this circle's just sitting here, what's something that's really difficult, and I see a lot of people doing with these apps, is, all right, now they've got a circle there, they want to fill it in. So they start trying to fill it in, or they go to a different pen. You don't have to do that. 2 fingers to get out of there. You can actually grab on the color here and drag it into this circle, and let go, and that will fill in your circle instantly. Pretty damn neat. So what else can we do with this circle now that it's there? Remembering that I have created this on its own layer, so it's able to move independently of everything else, of this original pattern underneath. So let's move over to the toolbars over to this side. And first we're going to grab this select button, little arrow button. So when I click on that straight away, now, let me undo that. You are given a whole bunch of selection of things down here on the bottom to do. And as you can see, that warped the circle quite a bit because I have it selected on warp. If I move it to freeform, I can actually drag this circle around anywhere I want. And because it's on freeform, I can move these points and actually change the whole, transform the whole shape of it very easily. If I move it to uniform, you'll get a very absolutely stagnant size, so you won't lose the shape of your item. If I move it to distort, there we go, I can really get some crazy stuff going on here. Turn it inside out, almost move to a 3D, like a hole in the ground there that would look like. So let's leave that there. And then I have a warp thing where I can actually lift this up and make it almost like a parachute, if you see what I'm saying there. So your options to create really crazy things is really cool. And I'm just going to double tap back to here. So again, nice and easy. Now if I 3-finger swipe and I want to get rid of all this, here's what's cool. You're going to love this. Just move this back into the middle. We'll shrink this down. Now, as you can see, if I 2-finger touch, we go back. And you can keep going all the way back to the end. 3-finger touch gets us all the way back to where we were. But if I just hold 2 fingers and place them onto the screen and hold them, it all just goes right back to the start instantly. 3 fingers, I can bring all of it back. And the way it does that is because it's screen recording as you're drawing the whole time. So very powerful, very powerful stuff. Let's get back to this original circle. Let's jump in and play with another layer here. And we're just going to go to some black again and keep it nice and basic. What else do we have here? I'm going to skip to this studio pen, if I can select it. And let's draw some eyes. In fact, let's do this. So as you can see, I want to fill in the eyeball now. So I'm going to make this pen a bit bigger. So now we've got some eyes there. Now I want to bring down the brush size a bit more and just give him some eyelids. That'll do there. Now we want to move to another layer. So I'm going to draw a nose on here. Okay, we got a little nose there. Now we want to add another layer and we're going to draw a mouth. Now there's not much room there for a mouth. So we're in a bit of a pickle. So what we're going to do here is scoot back to the nose, select this little tool and keep this uniform, and I can just shrink this nose down a little bit so I don't have to go back and do it again. Now I can go into this new layer and draw a mouth as planned. Now I'm going to draw it nice and I'm going to press heavy on this. So it's a little bit too big. The beautiful thing here, there we go, that'll do for the mouth. And let's get some teeth in there. So I want to bring this back a bit, this brush size, and we're just going to go in there. Excuse my stupid drawing today. It's pretty hard to do it like this. And that's really completely horrible. Now we want to do some hair. So we're going to add another layer once again. Remembering when I set up this, we've got about 40 layers that we can play with. So that's plenty. Now going through your brushes, you have towards the bottom here a whole bunch of really cool things like elements. So things like clouds. You've got water, flames, smoke, whole bunch of things like that. Now what we're looking for is, so we've got some spray paints, we've got fire, like brushed metal, a cage kind of effect. Organic, what are we looking for though? We are looking for, I think it's in textures. I can't even think where it is. It's not artistic. Let's try. I've probably gone right past it. God. I'm sure we had some, if I can find it. There we go, some hair. So I'm going to choose this. We're going to give him some crazy red hair, just like Malcolm. What I'm going to do is start building this out. I'm going to give him a mohawk. So as you can see, you can build this fluffy hair kind of thing because these brushes are absolutely killer. And within this, doing this hair, I'm just going to flick over to black again, and we're going to get at this fine hair and just fill this hair out with some flecks of black to make it actually stand out and look a bit like hair. Give it some thickness at the base there. And that'll do just for some hair. But what's really cool is you also have things like stubble, where I can zoom in now on this picture and start adding some stubble to his face. So I'm just touching around here. As you can see, we're building up this stubble around his chin and nose. So pretty damn cool stuff. We'll just finish up there. And we're starting to get a really odd character. There you go. And at any time you can change these, you can make them larger. Like if we go back, because I've actually done the stubble on the hair, I can't really do that. Again, I forgot to add an extra layer. So as you can see, layers are super important. You've got things like fire you can add. Where are we? So elements, I do believe we are in. So let's add even some clouds. So you can see you've got cloud formations there. So I want to go like a grayish heading to more white kind of tone. And you can just fill these things in and create clouds and such. Probably not doing a very good cloud there at all, but that is what you get for early in the morning. Over here on this side here, you've got things like adjustments, so opacities, blurs. So I can take this cloud, and just by swiping across, I can blur any of the filters that I have, any of the layers that I have. So let's just leave that a little bit blurred. You've got things like motion blurs, perspective blurs, so I can put a point anywhere I want, and then drag, and the perspective blur will come into effect. You can sharpen your image again just by moving left and right. So let's just move this to the circle image, or let's just use the pattern and play with this a bit. You can liquify this pattern. As you can see down the bottom here, when you hit liquify, you've got a whole bunch of these new items down here, like push, twirl. So if I just start playing with this, you can start moving all this stuff around. Tap once to go back. You can twirl things. You can see you can create really interesting things. You can pinch. Oops, I don't want to do that. So you can pull things in like that. You can expand things, push things back. Double tap whenever undo is your friend, remember. Great effects like this. How you crystallize these lines. So you can imagine there's plenty of great things you can do. And remembering, even with let me see. So you can clone as well. This is a tool which you get with nearly all photo apps if you're used to these things. So you can set your little marker here, and you can clone anything. So what are we on at the moment? We're on the circle. So I can make another one over here. So I can put this in the center of the circle, and then over here I can double pattern over this because of the clone tool, and you can see it's following me around. So that's pretty cool as well. So you've got all these and then down the bottom here you've got basic stuff like hue, saturation, color balance, all pretty standard stuff. Now what I'm going to quickly run through again is the adding things in here. So you can add rectangles, ellipses, so you can add so you can add circles in here and then reshape them. You can add rectangles to your pictures. You've got so many options to play with, and you have a preferences pane which you can play with till your heart's content. So you can add new photos, add a file, you can cut, copy, paste. While we're talking about cut, copy, paste, this is super cool. So all I need to do is take 2 fingers and swipe down. Whoops. Or is it 3 fingers? So yeah, 3 fingers, swipe down, and all of your cut, copy, paste, cut and paste all pop up for you there. Nice and simple. 3 fingers, bang. Really handy. Now I will show you here. Let's move over to this circle. So you can use your eraser to actually create really cool effects as well. So if you click on the eraser, you can do things like, what have we got? Let's just pick this driven snow, or this oceans one here. So we're going to click on this. So now I'm going to use the eraser to go over this circle, and it's actually going to erase the pattern out of the actual circle. So very simply, I've just scuffed up this guy's face. So, and I'm only really touching the, the very bare surface of showing you what you can do with this app. It's absolutely incredible app. You can use the same kind of brushes for your blurring. So let's look at water. Let's look at something like this crisscross kind of pattern here. So you can blur with this. Let's actually do it on the hair. So you can blur things nice and easy. So yes, and the beautiful thing is, as Gary Hubbs has just put this in and put this in the chat, you can use this with Photoshop, because you can save any of these projects as Photoshop files and then drag them into Photoshop, because they work around layers, and that's really incredible. That's an amazing thing that they've put in here, and you can add photos from across so many different file types. So again, really cool. And when you want to shut this down, well, before we do that, let's just hold down my magic 3 fingers and see what happens to this photo. It's 2 fingers, sorry. Whoa. And it's getting rid of everything that we've done so far. So you can see all the hair disappearing there. And this is what you would get in a time lapse once you finish your project, and it would create this time lapse effect. So if I now put my 3 fingers back, you can see everything coming back. So really fantastic for creating video clips of your art coming together, video clips for making music, or whatever it is you want to use Procreate to make. So very incredible. And once you click on gallery, it takes you nice back to your gallery. So you've got all your wonderful pictures here. And I've only got a few pictures, that I've actually taken some time to draw. Like I draw a lot of cartoon stuff myself. So and I think I've shown this before. I was living in this house where this psychopath was living next door, and jumping on my roof and trying to spook me, and she was an ugly piece of shit who needed a bullet in her head. So I decided to draw a picture of her and hang it on my window, so the next time she tried to fuck with me, that's what she saw with her name above it. So Procreate came in very handy for fucking with somebody who'd been fucking with me. Don't know why I shared that with you. And you can see how I built up that photo just by starting with a face and started to add pieces to it. And even in this one, this creature only has 1 foot. God, what a stupid picture. And as you can see, like this is just a lot of my... she actually looked uglier than that, Stu. Trust me. So I don't really have many of my photos in here at the moment because I said I've actually moved them all across into my folder. But this is kind of from my other iPad that I just imported today. But, you know, it's great for sketching and doing that kind of... So you can virtually do anything you damn well like on here. There you go. That is this app for today. I hope that's given you some insight as to the power this thing can do, because it is pretty damn awesome. Let's get back to my main screen. And what I love about my pencil is it just snaps onto the top there, starts charging. There we go. So that'll do it for today. I hope you've got something out of this. Look, again, it's an app that costs money, but it's an investment. And if you're definitely like into starting to draw, and you can do all this with your finger, remember, you don't have to have an Apple Pencil. You can do all this very easily with your finger, and those brushes accommodate how your finger is touching the screen. So, you know, because of the pressure points that Apple build into the glass of these amazing devices. So there you go, folks. That is a brief overview of this app. Now, I will probably be covering this as we go on in the coming months, because I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to be... I'm actually making a video clip for a death metal band at the moment. I'm about to start work on that. It's going to take probably a few months, a couple of months to get this done, just to give you a little sneak peek. So it's like a comic book thing that I am doing. So here's like some of the storyboarding I've been doing. So this video clip's going to be like, it's a whole gory thing, and I'm going to be drawing it all and putting it all together, and the video clip will be this comic book storyboard thing which animates, and each little page here will animate as it goes through the comic book pages. So as you can see, these are the storyboards I've started. It's going to be very gory, but I will be showing you all how I'm doing some of the process over a bunch of these apps like Procreate and some LumaFusion and some of the ones I've already shown you. So that's really exciting too. So yeah, that is it for the today. Thank you very much, as usual, for hanging out in the chat. Thank you if you are watching on the replay. You can always like, share, and subscribe. And I know there's lots of you who watch and haven't subscribed yet, so you really should. You can come over and like me on Facebook. You can go to my website as well, jadestarr.com.au, and listen to all my music. And that will do it for today. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again tomorrow for some more apps and how to do stuff. And until then, have a great day, my friends. Keep creating, stay gangster, stay rockin', stay forever. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Adios, amigos. Bye-bye.